All right, so picture this. You wake up one morning, turn on the TV, and bam, the breaking news is that all chocolate, every last bit of it, is going to be gone in 6 days.
Poof, just like that.
Gone forever. And, that's a pretty wild thought,
Yeah,
right?
it's like something out of a crazy dream or something.
Well, that wild idea is exactly where we're starting our deep dive today with the book The Great Chocoplot by Chris Callaghan.
And what I think is so interesting is how this really simple threat, the idea of no more chocolate, leads to this big adventure with some actually kind of deep ideas about what it's like to be a kid.
Right. And you, our listeners, this deep dive was your suggestion.
Yeah.
And we were both kind of instantly hooked by the whole no more chocolate thing.
Hooked is a good word for it.
So what we want to do today is break down The Great Chocoplot for you guys.
Yeah, really get to the heart of what makes this story so good. The characters, the mystery, and all the little things that make this book more than just a funny story.
Exactly. We're aiming for that sweet spot where you get a good understanding of the book without making it feel like homework.
Yeah, because who wants homework when we're talking about chocolate, right?
Okay, so the story starts in this town with a fantastic name, Chumpton on Delight.
You just know right away that this isn't going to be some super serious downer of a book.
Yeah, it's got that fun kind of vibe already.
Totally.
And this crazy announcement that all chocolate is doomed, it comes through a TV show called The 7 Show. And they're like, hey, folks, 6 days left to enjoy your chocolate.
Just like that.
Can you imagine the chaos?
Oh my gosh, people would be freaking out, running to the stores, stocking up on all the chocolate they could find.
Total mayhem, right?
Absolutely.
And at the center of all this is our main character, Jelly. Well, her real name is Jennifer Wellington.
A bit more formal.
But everyone calls her Jelly, sometimes even Jelly Welly.
Cute.
And this girl, she really loves her chocolate.
Like a true connoisseur.
Especially those block of choco bars.
Ah, a classic choice.
So when she hears this news about the chocolate apocalypse, she's not just sad. She's like, nope, not happening.
Yeah, she's not buying it.
She's convinced that something weird is going on, and she's determined to figure it out.
It's like that feeling when you're a kid and you know something's not right, even if you can't quite explain it.
Exactly. And the best part is she's got her gran on her side.
The dynamic duo.
And her gran is not just there for moral support. She's actually super clever and really helpful.
I love that they team up like that, two generations working together to solve this chocolate crisis.
Yeah, it's really sweet. And you can tell that they have a strong bond.
Definitely. And I think it also shows how different generations can bring different things to the table. Like Gran probably has more life experience and a different way of looking at things that complements Jelly's energy and enthusiasm.
Absolutely. Then we've got this character, Garibaldi Chocolati, and he owns the fanciest chocolate shop in Chumpton on Delight.
So you would think he'd be leading the charge to save chocolate.
Right. But here's the weird thing. His own chocolate is actually terrible.
Like what?
I know, right? It's already a bit suspicious.
Big red flag.
And it gets even weirder because he seems kind of happy about the whole chocolate ending situation.
Happy, like he's actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's really strange, and it immediately makes him a suspect for Jelly and Gran.
I mean, come on, a chocolate shop owner who makes bad chocolate and is happy about the end of chocolate. It's like he's practically twirling his mustache.
I know, right? He's like a villain straight out of a cartoon.
Exactly.
Oh, and we also meet Jelly's mom and dad, and this kind of shady character named Dodgy Dave.
Okay, Dodgy Dave. That can't be good.
Yeah, he sounds like trouble.
He does.
But anyway, they're just there to give you a better sense of the town and hint that Jelly's got some other stuff going on in her life, too.
Right. Like maybe the chocolate crisis isn't the only problem she's dealing with.
So anyway, this news about the chocolate hits, and the town just goes nuts.
As you would.
People are panic buying, hoarding chocolate like it's the end of the world. Which I guess in their minds it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a chocolate lover, that's a pretty serious situation.
And there's this general feeling of doom and gloom over the whole town.
Understandably.
But Jelly and Gran, they're not just going to sit around and mope.
That's not their style.
Nope. They immediately zero in on Garibaldi Chocolati because, well, he's happy about the chocolate shortage, and his chocolate is terrible.
Makes sense.
And Jelly, she's a pretty resourceful kid. She even does this whole science experiment to try and prove that the chocolate shortage is a hoax.
Oh, wow. So she's not just taking things at face value. She's actually trying to find evidence.
Yeah, it shows that she's smart and she's not afraid to question things.
And that's a good quality to have.
Definitely.
Like she's a little scientist detective.
I love that. And while they're snooping around Garibaldi's shop, they find something really weird little white creatures.
Okay, that's not your typical chocolate making problem.
Right. Definitely not like a bad cocoa bean harvest or anything like that. This points to something much more sinister.
Like someone is deliberately messing with the chocolate supply.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
chocoplot.
Ooh, I like that.
So the big question becomes, is this the actual end of chocolate? Or is someone like maybe a certain chocolate shop owner with terrible chocolate pulling off a massive prank?
And not a very nice prank either.
No, not at all.
So it's more than just a mystery. It's like a race against time to save chocolate.
Right. And along the way, the book explores some other really interesting themes, too.
Oh, yeah, it's not just about the chocolate.
It's like at its core, it's definitely a classic adventure and mystery story. You know, Jelly and Gran are following clues, trying to solve this puzzle before it's too late.
And they're going up against this, like, potentially evil chocolate maker.
It's got all the elements of a great whodunit, just with a chocolatey twist.
And I think the book also does a really good job of highlighting the importance of family and friendship. Like, the relationship between Jelly and Gran is so supportive and heartwarming.
Yeah, they really rely on each other and work together as a team. And the author, Chris Callaghan, has actually said that exploring family dynamics was a big focus for him.
Which makes sense when you see how well developed their relationship is.
Oh, and we can't forget about the humor.
Oh, yeah. This book is hilarious.
There are some seriously laugh-out-loud moments, crazy situations, over-the-top characters like Garibaldi, and just really witty dialogue.
It's that kind of humor that makes you smile even when you're reading about a potential chocolate apocalypse.
Exactly. And it keeps the story light and fun even though the stakes are pretty high.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
But the book also touches on some deeper themes too, like anxiety and worry.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jelly is shown as a character who worries about things.
Yeah.
And the story shows her learning to deal with those feelings and appreciate the present moment, even with this whole chocolate crisis going on.
That's a really important message for kids, especially these days when there's so much to worry about.
Right. And the author himself has said that he wanted to show how common those feelings are for children.
Which I think is really great because it makes kids feel seen and understood.
Yeah. And then there are also these subtle hints about social inequality in the story.
Oh, like how?
Well, they're little things like the way certain characters talk about money, or the fact that the prime minister has a funny nickname that kind of pokes fun at the government.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like a main focus of the book, but it's there in the background.
Yeah, it's like a subtle commentary on the world and the different challenges people face.
Which adds another layer to the story.
Now, if you're thinking, this sounds like my kind of book, and you're wondering what else you might enjoy, we actually found a really interesting comparison in our research.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
A lot of people have pointed out that Chris Callaghan's writing style is very similar to Roald Dahl.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Yeah, they both have that same quirky humor, those imaginative and slightly mischievous plots, and those unforgettable characters.
And they both write for kids in a way that's really engaging and entertaining.
So if you love The Great Chocoplot, chances are you'll love Roald Dahl too.
Definitely. And vice versa.
And we actually put together a whole bunch of other recommendations based on our research.
Like a literary chocolate box.
So if you loved the friendship between Jelly and Gran and the whole adventure vibe, you might really like Gangsta Granny by David Walliams.
That's a good one.
It's super funny, and it also has that heartwarming intergenerational bond.
Yeah, and if you're looking for something completely bonkers with lots of laughs and a good dose of mystery, you should check out The Nothing to See Here Hotel by Stephen Butler.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It is.
And for those of you who are all about imagination and the power of friendship, The Land of Roar by Jenny McLaughlin is a fantastic choice.
Yeah, it's a great adventure story with some really cool creatures.
And if you're looking for a book that tackles some important themes, but does it in a way that's both humorous and heartwarming, I highly recommend The Boy at the Back of the Class by Anjali Kurov.
Oh, I've heard good things about that one.
It's really good.
Okay, so we've got adventure, we've got humor, we've got heart. What else have we got?
Well, we also have Bloom by Nicholas Skinner, which has a really imaginative plot and some hilarious twists and turns.
Sounds intriguing.
It is.
And if you want a book that will make you laugh out loud but also has a lot of heart, you should definitely check out Grandpa Frank's Great Big Bucket List by Jenny Pearson.
Oh, yeah, that one sounds like a feel-good read.
It is.
And for something a bit creepier, but still with a brave young protagonist, The Creakers by Tom Fletcher is a good choice.
Ooh, that one sounds a bit spooky.
It is a little bit, but it's also really good.
Okay, and for those who love a good mystery with quirky characters In a unique setting, Malamander by Thomas Taylor is highly recommended.
Ooh, I love a good seaside mystery.
Oh.
And if you're into darker humor and fantastical elements, The Beast and the Bethany by Jack Meggitt Phillips might be right up your alley.
Okay, that one sounds pretty wild.
It is.
And for something completely original, hilarious, and full of surprises, you can't go wrong with Alice Dent and the Incredible Germs by Gwen Lowe.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. And of course, we can't forget about the classic series, A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket.
Ah, yes, the ultimate tale of resourceful orphans going up against a truly terrible villain.
It's a must-read for any young adventurer.
Absolutely.
Okay, and for a thrilling adventure with a unique focus on insects and a determined young protagonist, we have Beetle Boy by M.G. Leonard.
Oh, that one sounds cool.
It is, and last but not least, for a wacky and hilarious animal-centric story, we have Grimwood by Nadia Shireen.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have a whole library of recommendations.
So hopefully you guys have some new books to add to your reading list.
I think we've given everyone something to enjoy.
Now let's talk a bit about the mastermind behind this whole chocolate conspiracy. Chris Callaghan.
The man who dared to imagine a world without chocolate.
He's an award-winning and best-selling author of children's books, which is pretty impressive.
That is quite an accomplishment.
But what I find really fascinating is his career path before he became a writer. It's like super diverse.
Oh, yeah, like what did he do?
Well, he actually worked at a pick and mix counter.
Oh, so he knows his candy.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
Then he was an aircraft mechanic in the Royal Air Force fixing planes.
Wow, that's a big change.
I know, right? And then he transitioned into being an environmental scientist, measuring pollution on factory roofs.
Okay, that's a pretty varied resume.
It really is. So you have to wonder how all those experiences might have influenced his writing.
Yeah, I mean, working at a pick-and-mix counter probably gave him a good understanding of what kids love, and his technical jobs might have given him a different way of thinking about problem-solving and storytelling.
And the initial idea for the Great Chocoplot actually came from a conversation he had with his daughter. They were just like imagining what would happen if chocolate disappeared.
That's a pretty cool origin story.
I know, right? And the first version of the book, he wrote it as a Christmas present for her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is, isn't it? It shows that he's really passionate about creating stories that kids will love.
Yeah, stories that come from the heart.
Definitely. Chris Callaghan now lives in Newcastle with his family, and thankfully he's still writing more children's books.
That's good news.
It is. And if you want to learn more about him and his work, you can check out his website and find him on social media.
Yeah, it's always fun to connect with the authors you enjoy.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Great Chocoplot, I think it's safe to say that this book is so much more than just a funny story about a missing treat.
Oh, yeah, it's got a lot of depth.
It's a really engaging adventure. With characters, you can't help but root for a mystery that keeps you guessing, and some really thoughtful themes about family friendship and dealing with worries.
And of course, lots and lots of humor.
Absolutely. It's a book that will make you laugh,
Yeah.
make you think, and maybe even make you crave a bit of chocolate.
Though you might want to stock up just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
But seriously, it's a really well-written book that I think both kids and adults can enjoy.
And for you, our listener, who suggested this deep dive, we hope this has given you a good overview of The Great Chocoplot.
Yeah, we tried to cover all the important stuff without spoiling too much of the fun.
And you know, this whole idea of a chocoplot really makes you wonder what other seemingly impossible things might actually have an explanation if we just looked a little closer.
Yeah, like maybe the world is full of mysteries that we just haven't solved yet.
Or maybe there really is someone out there plotting to get rid of all the chocolate.
Well, let's hope not.
Let's hope not, because that would be a tragedy.
What a tragedy indeed.
To keep your eyes peeled and your minds open, because you never know what kind of mysteries might be lurking right around the corner.
And always appreciate a good piece of chocolate while you can.
Words to live by.
Until next time, happy reading.
And happy chocolate eating.
Definitely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.